What if I told you that a simple 5-cent coin struck in 1986 could hold the forgotten story of America's legacy? The secrets of Cold War tensions buried in the design, the whispers of a president's dream, and the silent value building over decades in the pockets of ordinary citizens. This is not just a nickel. This is the 1986 Jefferson Nickel, and its story will take you from the depths of Monticello's heritage to the minting machines of Philadelphia and Denver. Through errors that turned pocket change into collector gold, and into the hands of experts who now guard these coins as treasures of American numismatic history, rare American coins. Today, we dive deep into a piece of American currency that has traveled silently through history. It is small, it is often overlooked, but the Jefferson Nickel from the year 1986 holds a story more powerful than many know. This coin, minted during the Reagan era, carries the legacy of Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States, a man whose influence helped shape the foundations of the nation, and his face engraved in nickel tells a silent tale of American values, patriotism, change, and legacy. The Jefferson nickel was first introduced in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel, and for decades it has remained a symbol of continuity in American currency design. But in 1986, this coin entered a unique chapter influenced by historical events, economic conditions, and minting transitions. The coin was struck at two major facilities, the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint, and each carries its own set of identifiers, details, and secrets. The Philadelphia strike bears no mint mark, while the Denver strike bears a small D just to the right of Monticello on the reverse side. Now let us explore what makes the 1986 version different from the rest. The mid-1980s were a time of change in minting technology. Coin production techniques were being modernized, errors became more subtle and rarer, and the market began paying more attention to small details. Collectors started to note that certain 1986 nickels had striking issues. Weak strikes die, clashes off-center errors, and sometimes doubling, especially around Jefferson's eye, his hair, and the word liberty on the obverse. As we step further into the timeline, we must look at the historical context of 1986. It was the year when America was focused on technology, space exploration, and strengthening its economy after the inflation-hit 70s. Coins, like the nickel, were mass-produced to meet the increasing demand of daily commerce. But ironically, the mass production also gave birth to unique errors that today turn a 5-cent coin into something that may be worth hundreds or even thousands, depending on grade and rarity. Grading is one of the most essential aspects when it comes to valuing the 1986 Jefferson Nickel coins. In mint state condition, particularly MS-65 and above, command higher value, and if you're lucky to have a full steps designation on Monticello, that means all 5 or 6 steps at the base of the building are clearly defined with no marks or breaks. Then you may have a coin that few possess in such clarity. The full step strike is one of the most desirable traits among Jefferson nickel collectors, and only a small percentage of 1986 nickels qualify for this status. Now imagine finding a coin that you thought was just pocket change and learning that it contains a rare mint error, maybe a double die or an off-center strike. These varieties are cataloged and certified by agencies like PCGS and NGC, and once verified, they become hot property in auctions, online marketplaces, and coin shows across America, from coin shops in small towns to major national expos. The 1986 Jefferson Nickel continues to be a topic of conversation and fascination. Thomas Jefferson himself might never have imagined that his image on a humble 5-cent coin would become a lasting icon of American numismatics. The coin's reverse still shows his grand Monticello home, the neoclassical dome, the windows and columns all preserved. In tiny detail, as if to remind future generations of his architectural and ideological legacy, this connection between design, art history, and money makes the 1986 Jefferson Nickel not just currency, but a cultural artifact. Collectors often ask what to look for when examining a 1986 nickel. Begin with the mint mark, inspect the strike quality under a magnifier. Look for clear details in Jefferson's hair and cheekbone check, Monticello for step definition and study. The rims and edges for any irregularities always weigh the coin. A standard nickel weighs 5 grams, but if the weight is off, it might be an off metal strike or plancher error, and that's where the value skyrockets. This coin is not just metal. It is American memory. It is politics and policy. It is minting mastery and unexpected error. It is collecting and commerce all wrapped into one small piece of metal that continues to circulate unnoticed in drawers, jars, and wallets across the country, maybe even in yours right now. This was just the beginning of our 2-hour journey through the world of the 1986 Jefferson Nickel. Stay tuned, because next we will analyze real auction results. We will reveal rare certified examples. We will show expert opinions, and we will compare it to other important years in the Jefferson Nickel series. You will learn how to identify the rarest variants, what makes a coin desirable in the eyes of collectors, and why this small nickel still holds big importance in American coinage history. What about proof coins? The U.S. Mint also struck proof Jefferson nickels in 1986 at the San Francisco Mint. These are special collector coins not meant for circulation, and they feature mirror-like finishes and frosted details. Proof 1986 nickels have an S mint mark and were included in annual proof sets. Their values depend on condition, cameo contrast, and packaging. Unopened proof sets from 1986 can be found online or at coin shows, and often contain beautifully preserved examples that make excellent additions to any collection. We must not forget the educational and historical role of the Jefferson nickel. The coin does not just carry monetary value, it carries a representation of American ideals, liberty, independence, architecture, education, and progress are all embodied in the image of Jefferson and Monticello. This coin tells the story of the Enlightenment in America. It tells the story of a founding father whose ideas on democracy and governance still influence the nation. Today, holding a Jefferson nickel is like holding a miniature monument to American philosophy. Beyond its history and errors, the 1986 Jefferson nickel can also be seen as a time capsule reflecting America in the 1980s. This was the year of the Challenger disaster, the Statue of Liberty's centennial renovation, and the peak of the Cold War. This was a time when coins were used daily far more than today, and the nickel was vital in vending machines, parking meters, and daily commerce. Understanding the role of the coin in everyday life helps us appreciate its place in economic history. When it comes to collecting 1986, Jefferson Nickel's experts recommend building a set that includes both P and D mint marks and seeking out high-grade examples with full steps. Some collectors try to find strike variations and submit them for grading to see if any unique characteristics earn special designations. Values can grow over time, especially as older coins are lost, damaged or hoarded coins, in brilliant uncirculated rolls sealed from the 1980s, have become valuable sources of untouched nickels that might contain rare gems. So next time you find a Jefferson nickel in your change, check the date. Look for 1986. Examine Monticello. Check the steps study. Jefferson's profile, weigh the coin if possible, and consider the condition. You might just discover a rare piece hiding in plain sight, a small slice of American heritage sitting in the palm of your hand. This concludes Part 1 of our full 2-hour journey into the 1986 Jefferson nickel. In Part 2, we will go through the minting process of nickels with real footage from coin presses and die preparation. We will compare 1986 to other important years like 1950D or 2004 to understand how design and rarity have evolved. We will also show real examples of high-grade and error 1986 nickels sold in auctions and explore what collectors are paying today and what the future might hold for these coins. So stay with us as we continue unlocking the value and story of this often overlooked but truly important American coin.